If you could, would you paint a picture for us of what it was like on the plantation in your early days?
It was a lovely, happy time living in open spaces with many lovely colored people and animals and flowers and fields. My father had everything thoroughbred, from the pigs, horses, the dogs, and the people had to be thoroughbred. And we would get into a buggy with him and drive to the plantation from what we call the pine land where we live. And we would spend, every Saturday this was, and we would spend the day in old Fortune, I can see him now, would give us dinner, and we would have a heavenly time. And old April, he was the dairyman. That's all he did, was to skim the cream over these great big bowls of clabber and put them in the wooden churn and churn this marvelous fresh butter. That was April's job. He didn't do anything else but love us and skim the cream. And skim the cream. And skim the cream.
Here, a good set of Negroes here, and they don't want to be disturbed. They really are. I have one that I just love. She nursed my children for about 6 years, and I wouldn't have her want for a thing if I found out that she needed something. And I was right amused when my daughter from Arlington, Virginia came down. She was one of the children that Missy had nursed. And I got my son to drive us out to see Missy. And she had also nursed him. And his little boy was in the car with us. And when Missy came out, she said, "Look at my children." And she put her arm right around William's shoulder. And the little boy just looked up out of, he didn't know what to make of it. And I said, "Listen, Billy, she's was a mother to him for a while. I'll tell you, she's helped nurse him." And so that's the association we had with them, and I presume there's still some good ones around. Of course, there are some getting some ideas, and that's all right. That's progress. But we've got some mighty good donkeys here. But we've got some mighty good donkeys here. But we've got some mighty good donkeys here.
Listen, Mammy, there ain't nowhere to wash clothes. What you all need is rhythm.
What do you all mean, rhythm?
I'll show you what I mean. In Harlem, there's a little place where everyone goes to see the way a washerwoman washes her clothes.
If you like boogie woogie rhythm, she's got a beat. Let the boogie woogie washerwoman give you a treat. On every afternoon, that's when the sessions begin, and all the boys from all the bands come down and sit in. They sit around and knock each other out when they play, while the boogie woogie washerwoman washes all day. Rub me up down, that's just the way she rubs. Rub me up down, that's just the way she rubs. Rub me up down. She wears her all until she rubs and rubs, and that goes right on down to the left. Rub me up down, that's how she kicks it off. Rub me up down, she keeps it nice and soft. Rub me up down.
Perhaps I could have got away on beat for you catching me. You remember that. You remember that all day. You killed me. You remember that. You killed me. Niggas like you just prove what the Peckerwoods say. We just beasts, willing to do anything, kill each other. No mind, no feeling. Shut up, nigga. Beast wise ain't gonna die like you gonna die. Like a slave. I ain't giving no lifetime of misery and sweat to this Peckerwood. I'd rather die than be a slave. You Peckerwood, that's right. You Peckerwood was oppressed in your own land. We was free. And you brought us here, in chains. But now we here, and you just better know, this is just as much our land as it is yours. And after you hang me, kiss my ass. And after you hang me, kiss my ass.
Would you make white people slaves? What do you think?
I will. And I just sit them someplace.
Where?
Like we have one side of the world and they have the other side, but just let them have a little piece of it. I say we build a big brick wall and say the same thing.
What's that?
They have a little side and we build a big wall so they can never get over. And we have a big side.
Why would you do that?
And on the other end, so they won't get on our side.
I mean, you think they just messed up or what?
They be trapped as they try to get over us, too.
Well, why would you do that? You think they deserve that?
They deserve it, yup. They killed some of us. They chained some of us. They whipped some of us. Yeah. They stabbed some of us. Yeah. They shot some of us.
This will pay you back, huh?
Yeah. They're not good. But this is not the least good, too. But putting the brick wall there and not shooting them or doing what they did is not as worse as they did to us.
The book of 2 Thessalonians, chapter 1, and verse 6, it reads, "Seeing it is a righteous thing with Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua power to recompense tribulation to them that trouble you." All right, and them that troubled us, all right, primarily is the Edomites, the so-called self-proclaimed white nation, which they're not white, they're red, according to the Bible. And their identity are the Hebrew Edomites. You know what I'm saying? The wicked the Bible speaks of, the adversary to the Israelites, the adversaries to Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, whose real name is Yahushua. All right, so before I continue, rather, let me start out by giving all honor, glory, and praise to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, Bahashem, Ruach HaKodesh. Double honors to the apostles, they are the bishops and elders of the great millstone. Peace and salutations, excuse me, to the Lord's elect that be in the house of David. All right, today is January the 28th, year 2026. All right, the year of the apostate, the year of the agent, the year of the sellout. All right, the year of Jacob's trouble. All right, again, Jacob is the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. Through the seed of our fathers, we represent the Israelites, and Esau represents the so-called white, self-proclaimed white nation. All right, again, and they're not white, they're red. They're the wicked the Bible speaks of. All right, and I just showed you a compilation that I've had of some clips. Some of them are older. All right, but I just came across them. All right, and I was looking for that last one for a minute. All right, and I didn't even know I had it on my page, but it was like a video I did like 5-6 years ago. But anyway, the Spirit of the Lord made me go to it, and I was able to add it into this because you see the discontent that's brewing and that's been brewing, all right, for a long time, and now we're getting to the point to where it's gonna overboil. All right, you know what I'm saying? That enmity between Jacob and Esau. All right, and you see how these devils speak. The scriptures even go into that, how they speak lawfully concerning oppression. All right, they don't give a shit about what they did to us. You seen how you had the Edomites, all right, the Edomite woman speaking about what it was like, what life was like on the plantation. All right, for her, and she said it was heavenly. All right, she actually used those words. It was heavenly. All right, because Esau's in his heaven right now. All right, he's in his rulership stage. All right, 2nd Ezra chapter 6 and verse 9 reads, Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that follow it. So Esau is in his heaven. So he feels how he feels for a reason. All right. Well, they felt how they felt for a reason, because his heaven is turned into his hell now. All right, because shameful spewing is on his glory. He's entered into his downfall phase, all right? Once this truth came into the earth in 1969, you know what I'm saying, through Abba Bivens, when the Lord ordained Abba Bivens, who we believe is Elijah, all right, to bid us back to Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. This truth came back into the earth, all right? Esau tried to go up into space, all right, and it's been downhill ever since for him, all right? So we're going to read these right here to show you that this is the end of Esau's world. 2nd Ezra chapter 6, started at verse 7. It says, "Then answered I and said, What shall be the parting asunder of the times? Or when shall be the end of the first and the beginning of it that follow it? And he said unto me, From Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau. All right, that's why Jacob is known as the supplanter, because he's coming to supplant Esau. All right. Verse 9, it say, for Esau is the end of the world. All right, that world is going into eon, age, reign. I think it's is it oikomini? I'll find it. Let me go to it. But it's saying Esau is the end of the world and Jacob is the beginning of it that follow it. All right, so Jacob's world, all right, is the world to follow. Oh, shit. Let me see. Oh man, it ain't gonna pull it up in the it ain't gonna pull the apocrypha up in the blue letter. But I know it's the eon, all right. It's the eon of Esau. You know what I'm saying? His rule and reign on this earth. You know what I'm saying? It's coming to an end, and Jacob is the beginning of it that follow it. Jacob's Jacob's rule and reign on this earth coincides with Yahweh Shai coming back and setting up the kingdom of heaven on this earth. All right. And then said, kingdom, you Edomites will be slaves. All right. The same way we were your slaves and built up your kingdom. All right. You're going to do the same thing for us. All right. Let's go to Revelation 13. Verse 9. It reads, if any man have an ear, let him hear. One second, y'all. If any man have an ear, let him hear. Verse 10. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. All right, and who killed us with the sword? Esau. All right, what is Esau blessing? The sword. All right, Esau is the sword of the Lord. All right, when you read Psalm 17 and verse 13, it tell you, arise, O Lord, disappoint him, cast him down, deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword. All right, so Esau is the nation. We've been in slavery to all these nations, but Esau is the one that put us under the worst slavery known to mankind up to this point. You know what I'm saying? The shit that these devils did to us. All right, the buck breaking. All right, the children raping, the woman raping. All right, you know what I'm saying? Making Jake commit horrific acts with his mother and with his daughters and shit. Just different shit. All right, African Dodger. You know what I'm saying? Apostle Gabar was going into that on the live he was in a couple of days ago. All right, you know what I'm saying? That episode on Pluto. I mean, not on Pluto. On Popeye when, you know what I'm saying? They was putting a black figure, which we know is to be one of us, which, again, we're not black, we're brown, but, you know, that's how they did it back then. Putting that figure like at a poster board, putting his head through there, and then throwing shit at it like baseballs and stone balls, and you know what I'm saying? All of that shit Esau did. Gator bait. All these different things he did, all right, during this captivity. All right, you know what I'm saying? Feeding our children, our live little children, to alligators. You know, this what this nigga did. All right, on top of the slavery. And he think he ain't gonna pay for that shit? That motherfucker is sadly mistaken. All right, the Lord actually told us to do this. All right, we go to stay in Revelation. Go to 18. All right, we're gonna go to verse 5 on down through 6. It said, for her sins have reached unto heaven. And Yahweh Shemel Shapel hath remembered her iniquities. All right, her sins upon sins upon sins. Verse 6. Reward her. The her is Esau. Reward these devils, and we're going to reward them in the kingdom. Reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her according to her works. And the cup which she had filled to her double. All right, and that cup is lamentations, mournings, woe, slavery. All right, and you getting a double dose, baby. All right, you getting 1,000 years of it, E. All right, 1,000 years, all you nations getting it. All right, 1,000 year sentence. All right, of getting your asses beat into righteousness, and you never gonna be righteous, but you gonna learn it as best you can. All right, and you gonna practice what's been beat into you and take it to your lands, and you do it right, you get blessed. You do it wrong, you get cursed. But Esau don't get that. Esau get the Obadiah 1 and 18. All right. He gets rounded up and burned as a whole nation. All right, he ain't getting to you know, practice what was beat into him. No, he just getting his ass beat for a greater judgment. All right, verse 7, it said, how much she had glorified herself and lived deliciously. All right, that's another thing they did to us. All right, Negro delectables. All right, you know, they was cutting Jake up and eating us and shit. All right, and you know they did it to the northern kingdom too. But just saying, Judah took it the worst. All right, Negro delectables. All right, we was food for these motherfuckers. All right, how much had she glorified herself and lived deliciously? So much torment and sorrow give her, for she saith in her heart, I sit a queen, and am no widow, and shall not. Let me see, and shall see no sorrow. Because Esau don't think he going down. All right, the script. What's that scripture? Their inward thought is that their generation shall continue forever. They call their lands after their own names. Let me come right back to that. What's that? Psalms 49:11. But yeah, Esau don't think he going down, but you going down, Red Knight. All right, like Jim Carrey said in Cable Guy, you going down, down, down. The Red Knight's going down. You know what I'm saying? Psalms 49:11. Their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever, and their dwelling places to all generations. They call their lands after their own name. That's why America is called America. All right, because Edomite Italian, all right, by the name of Americos Vespucci, all right, named this place after himself. And then you got what's that? Then you got Leo Scipios Africanus. That's why Africa is named Africa after him. Then you got Asiaticus. I think that's that nigga name, which is Leo Scipios' brother, if I remember correct. That's why Asia is named what is named. All right, these devils again, they were given that sword to go throughout the earth and conquer the earth, and now, you know what I'm saying, they're coming to the part where they get took down. All right, America turns 250 years old in July, and the average ruling reign of an empire is 250 years. So this homosexual nation is at the end of its homosexual rainbow. All right, you know what I'm saying. Let me see, verse 8, Revelation chapter 8 and verse 8, it say, therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire, for strong is the Lord power who judgeth her. All right, and this is America that's going to get this judgment, all right? You know what I'm saying? With you proud-ass American Edomites, all right, you 2/3 sellout Israelites, and I showed you a clip of that, that was from the Mandingo movie. All right, I was watching the Elder out in New York earlier, Amawar Gabar, and he was in his live, and he was actually speaking about that clip. All right, when Jake gave him that speech, and at the end he told him, and after you hang me, kiss my ass. All right, I had that clip in my phone for months. All right, I ain't used it, but seeing the Elder out in New York do his video, it inspired me. Be like, all right, man, I got, light bulbs went off, and it gave me the inspiration to do what I'm doing right now, Which it don't take much to get motivated to flame Esau bitch ass, but just hearing the Elder say that, it instantly sparked my mind to get that clip and add it into this lesson that you're seeing go up right now. All right, but these devils is going down. They going into slavery. All right, and ain't nothing they can do. All right, all that mockery, all that ridicule they gave us, it's going on now. All right, Lamentations chapter 4, we're going to start at verse 21. It say, rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom, that dwellest in the land of Uz. The cup, all right, that same cup we was talking about in Revelation 18, fill it to her double. All right, that same cup. Rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom, that dwellest in the land of Uz. Spiritual Uz today is America. All right. It say, the cup also shall pass through unto thee. Thou shalt be drunken, and shalt make thyself naked. All right, and that's happening right now. Esau's being exposed. All right, uncover the leg, make bare the thigh. All right, as it goes into in Isaiah chapter 47. All right, verse 22. The punishment of thine iniquity is accomplished, O daughter of Zion. So the Israelites, the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans are no longer going into slavery. All right, the 2/3 got to get their death by pain on this side here, but that's it. Ain't gonna be no more slavery though. It says, he will no more carry thee away into captivity. He will visit thine iniquity, O daughter of Edom. He will discover thy sins. All right, it's your turn to be the slave, boy. All right, all you fucking nations, but especially you, Esau. All right, get this in Jeremiah 30 and 16. It says, therefore all that devour thee shall be devoured. And Esau is the number one Name on that list again, Negro delectables, all right, whatever you want to call it, Negro food, all right, you know what I'm saying? They devoured us, and that was just, they did it in an assortment of ways, but they did it with their teeth as well, all right, these filthy motherfuckers. All right, they say, therefore all that devour thee shall be devoured, and all thine adversaries, all thy enemies, every one of them shall go into captivity, slavery. And they that spoil thee shall be a spoil, and they that and all that prey upon thee will I give for a prey. All right, so while they was preying on us, all right, the Lord was preying on them. All right, you know, because they gonna be giving it to our hands. All right, they did this, and you know, they gotta be judged for it, and it's gonna happen. All right, let me see. It's another one. Shit, I'm thinking about. Hold on, y'all. I'm gonna put this up raw. Shit, what else that devil do? 1 second. Oh yeah, and let me read this also on Joel, because you know, when that last clip with the young Jakes, who they were interviewing, you know, asking them, you know, would you make Esau your slave and pay him back for what they did? And they said yes, and that's because they got at that point in time, Jake was somewhat in his right mind as far as knowing who his enemy was. All right, Jake knew, all right, these Edomites were the devil, all right, and not to trust them. All right, but in today's time, you know, it ain't so much so. Only the elect can really, you know, really obtain it on that level. All right, you got some 2/3 Jakes that hate Edomites. Don't get me wrong, you know what I'm saying, but shit. If you ain't know the elect, what is it really about? You know what I'm saying? What's it about, John? What's it about? If you don't go through life as a man's man, what's it about? You know what I'm saying? So Joel 2:27, it say, and ye shall know that I am in the midst of Israel, and that I am the Lord power. And it's like, and that I am the Lord Yahweh Shai, your power and none else, and my people shall never be ashamed. All right, and it's another one. Verse 28, and it shall come to pass afterward that I will pour out my spirit upon all flesh, and your sons and your daughters shall prophesy. It says, your old men shall dream dreams, and your young men shall see visions. All right, Jake? When them young Jakes was saying what they were saying back then, which, you know, they're much older now, you know what I'm saying? That was back in the 70s. I'm pretty sure them niggas, they grown, all right? You know, probably grandfathers and shit, but if they ain't in this truth, all right, they probably don't even know that the Lord had his spirit on them at that time, all right? Because that's going to happen. Esau is going to be paid back, all right? You know, we ain't going to build a world and just isolate them in it. No, we're going to build a world. We're going to make them build our world. Put it this way. We're going to make them devils build up our world, our kingdom, all right? They're going to have 1,000-year slavery sentence, and then they getting exterminated, all right? They ain't going to get to enjoy nothing. All right, even when the slavery for them is going on, they ain't gonna enjoy it then, because they gonna be in pits. All right, we're gonna have these damn devils in pits in the earth, all right, like snakes. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna be living underground. You know what I'm saying? They are not gonna enjoy, all right, you know what I'm saying, the return of our Lord, all right? It actually goes to in Isaiah 63. You know what I'm saying? Who is it that coming from Edom with dire garments from Basra? When Yahweh Shai comes back, Esau, man, you just don't understand. You nailed nails in the hands of our Lord, all right, and he's a Negro like us. You know what I'm saying? He's a Negro man. He would be a Negro man today. Let me say it that way. He's the Lion of the tribe of Judah. But if he was on this earth, he would be one of us. You know what I'm saying? As you would say, you black people. He'd be one of these black people walking around today who you don't give a fuck about. And you nailed nails in his hands. You spit on him. You stabbed him in his side. You did all of that. And the Lord said when he come back, all eyes should see him, even those that pierced him. So you Edomites got a horrific judgment to look forward to, all right? All we can do is talk it up to you, all right? We can't even really tell you. I mean, we can tell you, but you ain't gonna feel it until you feel it, if you know what I mean, all right? And you gonna feel it, all right? You know what I'm saying? You're gonna see it. You're gonna feel it. You're gonna smell it, all right? You're gonna know all about it, all right? Because it's coming. So, you know, this is just something quicker to the point. Just got our work. All right, again, part of the lesson, again, is inspired by, you know what I'm saying, the elder out of New York, Amawar Gabor, you know, the water, big elder, you know what I'm saying, for your labors and the work that you do. All right, and your daily dedication to this, you know, it's uplifting, you know. And the water to all the elders and apostles, you know what I'm saying, elder bishops and the Zyquanium, you know, that do what they do and, you know, motivate us brothers, because, you know, we a body and we all got one mission, and that's to chant down Babylon, usher in Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, all right, and get the elect up out of here, you know. I brought this out, we be of that number. So I'm going to close it with that, Lord willing. This was edifying, flowed together, and made sense. Any questions, comments, you know, just leave from the comment section. All right, that's pretty much it. All honor, glory, and praise go to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Ruach HaKodesh. Double honors to the apostles, the elder bishops and elders of the great millstone. Peace and salutations to the elect, Kwam Yasharala, and the Bible Ball. Shalom.